Hi.
Coming to you through the electrical impulses of the internet, it's F That Noise. Featuring Mike Burdick, Keith Reed, Jamie Klein, Pete Melia, and Steve Taylor. It is episode 19 of F That Noise, and we are treading into uncharted territory here. We have our first ever movie review. Hopefully the first in a long line of episodes where we pick a movie from our past and watch it again and then come back and reminisce about what we remembered, maybe jokes that wouldn't work today. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of those with today's subject, which is, if you haven't seen the title screen, is Police Academy 1 and 2. I'm Keith Grieve here aboard the SS Gutenberg, joined by Steve Taylor.
Vaginas.
Pete Melia. Mike Burdick.
Proctor!
And James Klein.
In America, talk is cheap.
What was it? I always have a soft spot in my heart for Citizens on Patrol. I do. I don't know why.
Oh,
I know.
it's because the rap music.
I know. All right. So we always start this show out with the drive of the week. A drive, if you're not aware, is a line from a movie or TV show that is said with exceptional velocity and volume. And I will turn it over to Mr. James Klein.
All right, ladies and germs, we have what appears to be the drive of the week will be Police Academy 2, their first assignment. I think we all agree that Police Academy 2 is by far the superior of the Police Academy films. I know that might be comparing shit to poo, but goddamn, I really love Police Academy 2. I think it's a genuinely funny fucking film.
Comparing shit to poo.
Here's a line that Captain Mauser blurts out when he finds out that his hair is covered in glue and not shampoo.
Someday I'm gonna be captain, and every rookie will go down on his knee, and there'll be nothing but a squeeze just for me. Yeah, they will be.
I had to include the singing.
Just for me. Yeah, they be slaves up there. Yeah. And they'll say, Captain Mauser, yowza, yowza. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Hey. Hey. Hey, wait a minute. My hand is stuck to my head. Hey, who's fooling around? What the fuck? My hand is stuck to my head. Hey, who's fooling around? What the fuck? My hand is stuck to my head. Hey, who's fooling around? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
It is great.
Oh,
It is great. It is
Jack
great.
Death.
Oh, God. So that was the Drive of the Week, brought to you by Trashman Media. For all the latest Blu-ray and DVD reviews, including videos and interviews, check out Trashman Media at www.trashmanmedia.com, as well as on Twitter and Facebook.
And don't forget to check out www.bizarreabyss.com for all news, no bullshit.
Bullshit.
All right, so now moving on, we all took the weekend, and Mike, thank you very much for finding time in your very busy weekend to fit these two movies in. But we watched.
Well, it was a hard, I tell you.
I know, but you know what? You bucked up and you got it done. I'm proud of you. We rewatched Police Academy 1 and 2, so why don't we start at the beginning with Police Academy 1. What's everybody's thoughts about watching it again after years going by?
I still like the movie myself. It's it's nostalgic. I did see it with some other people that had never seen it before, and they weren't all too big on it. And
really,
watching again, I forgot how politically incorrect this movie is.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, for some of the sensitive people, the millennials, might not enjoy it, but I get a kick out of it. It's a great time capsule. It's funny as hell. And what I like about Police Academy and all the other ones is they don't really ever get serious. Like if you watch any kind of like a Ron Williams movie or Steve Martin or John Candy, any of those movies, there's always like some sort of serious moment, some sort of drama where the plot has to kick in. That's why my favorite comedies like Airplane, Blazing Saddles, Naked Gun, like those are the kind of movies I love because I want to see a comedy. I want to see a fucking comedy. I want to be laughing from beginning to end. I don't need to hear the drama with Mrs. Doubtfire and that has to get her kids or any of that fucking bullshit. Give me something that's fucking funny from beginning to end. And Police Academy pretty much does it. It's got a great cast. I love the cast about it, but it's awesome. It's fucking King. Fuck.
Yeah, I forgot that Kim Cattrall was in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's so fucking hot.
So did she. She forgot.
Before her,
Yeah, she did.
before her mannequin sins.
Oh, there's no sin in that.
That girl can give Richard Simmons a boner.
God.
Still getting in your sweat socks.
Oh my god.
Okay, so there is a couple things that really wouldn't fly in today's society when you look at that movie, right? At least a couple, right? And the one thing that jumped off right off the bat is the misogynistic attitude of guys just looking to get laid, and I think that's a staple across a lot of 80s comedies, if not them all, which we kind of frown upon as a society for good reason these days. But it's still funny nonetheless when Gutenberg gets behind Cattrall and tells her, "Let's see the thighs," stuff like it's just goofy. You got to have a sense of humor, I mean.
And he comes out of the scene looking like the good guy because Harris comes around and ruins that moment.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, stupid Harris.
Yeah,
buzzkill.
Harris is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, in the '80s, it was a much bigger sin to be a dick. In general, kind of like Harris.
Yeah.
Or at least to follow the rules and be, straight laced.
Yeah,
Right.
For sure.
Right.
And then there's the whole.
I don't know. I felt like the movie really held up, though. Strangely, and I came away from it feeling the freewheeling '80s. Like
Yeah.
it really did give you the flavor of that decade. There was nothing at stake. There was nothing to lose. It was just some guy who was just all '80s out, acting completely goofy, and I don't know. It really captures the '80s.
It's
I think it still does. I haven't seen that movie in 30 years.
It's interesting to me, a couple things. One is that when you look at movies that start out and then they have sequels and they really jump the shark, and Police Academy 2, obviously as you go on, they're not quite as great, but they always follow the same format. If you look at the first movie, the lines that those guys are saying in the first 10 minutes when they're saying they're going to join the Police Academy and everything, they're all cornball. They're all ridiculous. They're not like some great, movie lines that in the third or fourth movie they screwed up. It's the same thing, and every movie has pretty much the same format.
Yeah.
It's very close, So it's it never really stops being true to what it is, no matter what it is. And the other thing I saw was that there are movies in that decade that are you call the boob movies or something. There's centers around the gratuitous nudity or violence, real slasher films or whatever. This movie is its own animal. It's its own type of comedy. It's not the best comedy you've ever seen in your life. It's just it's its own animal. It's you couldn't say oh, that's like Porky's or that's like this. It's its own goofball thing, separate from a lot of other 80s movies.
What Police Academy puts full-size windows in a basement shower?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The one in the writer's mind.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Another thing I love about these Police Academy movies, and especially 1 and 2, these movies make me feel good. I I'm humming the theme song. The theme song, by the way, is kick ass. It's so great. I walk out and from this movie feeling good, feeling happy, and I had a great time watching it.
Well, the stakes aren't really
That's a really good point. Yeah, I felt the same way. Yeah.
The stakes aren't that high. they're high in the movie, but they're not really high. You know that it's all going to turn out okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so by the time you end, it's all good. You know.
Jamie brought up the theme, so.
Such a great song.
Like, if you don't
so
start,
awesome.
if you've seen the movie and you hear that song, if you don't start smiling, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But like,
Kind of going off what Jamie was saying, this movie is like a direct mirror of what the 80s were. And the 80s was a time where, even though, you know, we were younger, so we didn't know a lot of the negative shit going on, it was a happy decade. Like, there was a lot of just, the music was happy, the movies were happy for the most part. You know, it was a much different time.
And I found myself like legitimately laughing, though. It wasn't like out of nostalgia. You know what I mean? I was like legitimately like shit was funny.
Oh, it was funny.
Yeah.
And see, I was more like that with 2. When I watched Police Academy 2, I was really laughing hard, and it wasn't for nostalgia reasons. It was generally hilarious, I thought.
You know what part of that was for me?
That was true. Like, almost everything that I laughed at, it wasn't really out of nostalgia. It was genuinely funny, and it actually held up, strangely. You know?
Yeah.
Like, Commandant Lassard getting a blowjob underneath that kills me still to this day.
And then when he thinks
his facial expressions,
awesome.
And then when he thinks it was Mahoney.
Amazing.
When he thinks it was Mahoney afterwards.
Yeah.
Good speech.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Keith, bring up to your point about things you can't do in movies nowadays. Yeah, you could probably have that blowjob scene, and then the guy pops out, and he's like, "Oh my god, it was a blowjob by a guy." But there's a lot of, I don't know if you would want to say anti-gay, but there is quite a lot of jokes aimed at the gay people, and especially at the end when Lassard sees Mahoney kissing, and he goes, "You men, stop it!" And when he sees it's a woman, he goes, "Oh, that's more like it."
That's all right.
I was like, "Oh my god, it's hilarious that he said that."
Yeah.
The whole concept of the Blue Oyster Bar lived on in the 80s through all of our...
See, now, that music right there will always put a smile on my face. It's because it is one of... It's always one of the funniest scenes in the movies.
It is one of the funniest parts.
Getting a blowjob by Steve Guttenberg will put that kind of smile on my face, Mike. But Blue Oyster Bar, I love that concept and how that's always like interwoven into all the movies where there's a Blue Oyster Bar scene. And just that music and seeing all the guys dancing properly to that song, and it just kills me every fucking time.
Yeah.
I agree.
But it's
yeah, you know the Blue Oyster Bar is going to happen. You just don't know how or when.
You know what's interesting too? If you look at all those movies, I don't know how many entrances there were to the Blue Oyster Bar, but they always go in a different entrance and end up in that bar.
Yeah.
It's always a different door.
Same exit,
right.
different entrance.
Right.
At what point does like the word get around that they're going to send you to the Blue Oyster Bar, so be on the lookout? But everyone always barges in and is surprised the same way.
My hands are stuck to my head. Hey, who's fooling around? What the fuck?
Gotta be too. When they say there's a brawl at the Blue Oyster Bar, and the guy knows the address right away, and everyone stops and stares at it. That would happen in any movie nowadays. Like, people now would be looking at like, yeah, what's the big deal? I don't get it.
But like, so,
right.
But I feel like those jokes are more, and you really got to stop and think about it to understand it. Is more about the stupidity of being afraid of being considered gay. You know what I mean? You're playing off the hetero insecurity, like, oh my god, what if they think I'm gay? But when in reality, it's who gives a shit. But you're playing off that, oh my god, they can't think, like it's you're playing off the frailty of the mindset of, oh god, please don't think I'm gay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come off that way at first. Absolutely not.
You know what I totally forgot about? How much money these movies made.
Must have made a fortune.
Like
right?
Police Academy 2 made over $100 million at the box office.
Are you kidding?
What? Did it really?
It said a budget of $7.5 million. It made $115 million.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But then Police Academy 3 also made over $100 million, $107 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Is this
Crap,
over
those
the
things
life
are
of the
cheap.
lifespan of the movie, or is this actually at the box office?
This is just box office.
Oh, come on, really?
Yeah,
Holy cow.
$115 million for Police Academy 2. Holy shit.
I guess when you think about it, there really wasn't a lot at the theater, probably at the time. I don't know.
Well, the Police Academy movies always came out around March. It was like March, April. Those movies would always come out, so they weren't going up against a whole lot of other.
Yeah, it
movies.
was released March 29th of '85.
Well, you got to think how easy these must have been to make.
Yeah,
you know,
they're
like,
cheap
oh, yeah.
as hell.
You know,
Yeah, it
The
only
intro was
cost
like the same
$7.5
shot for the
million,
first two
second one.
movies, I think. It's those buildings and like they give you a little.
I
quick
honestly think
homage.
it's past the first two.
Paragraph.
Peter.
No, it is past the first two. It's every shot in every one of. I think it even goes up to 7.
Does it?
Yeah. Does anyone?
Yeah.
Did anyone see Police Academy Mission Moscow?
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Yeah,
Because I had
It
forgotten.
was awful.
I never saw it, but I forgot about that till I was searching for Police Academy 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't remember much from it. I would like to give it another shot, but
Why?
I know
was-
Christopher
why?
Lee. Christopher Lee's in it, so I kind of am like, oh.
Oh my god.
curious.
Okay, so the 3 movies that were released the same weekend for Police Academy 2 was Lady Hawk and Desperately Seeking Susan with Police Academy 2.
Jeez.
Wow.
So that explains why Police Academy 2 did so good.
Yeah. Well, Desperately Seeking Susan did really well, I thought too, didn't it?
I don't know.
I know Lady Hawk didn't do well at all.
Desperately Seeking Susan, I remember doing well. It definitely did well on HBO later, but
Oh, that was a big HBO movie,
Oh,
big
yeah.
time.
that guy just died. By the way, I know this in the topic, but
Yeah, the guy from. Yeah, he was also in Crocodile Dundee.
yeah, he was. But
Oh, that's right.
It's amazing. Like it's like how many years later, and everybody said the guy from Desperately Seeking Susan died. That was like the heading on all the articles.
It made $27.3 million.
What did?
Desperately Seeking Susan
27
In
million?
that time, it was a lot of money.
Yeah,
on a
85.
$4 million budget.
Oh, so yeah, it's a
Oh,
sleeper hit.
That's sleeper hit.
Yeah.
But I still can't
Yeah.
believe how much money fucking Police Academy movie. Like that thing is the most shocking. Like I'm blown away by that.
I honestly think it. I mean, obviously the humor, and I think it's what Jamie said. It just ended always making you feel kind of good.
Yeah.
So it was an easy sell. So
Yeah, and it's really and like you guys were saying about I think it was you, Mike, talking about the kind of skin flick movies like Hamburger the movie it was Hamburger the movie. All those
I never
all
watched
those
any of them.
crappy skin flick movies. That this one was kind of in that vein, like seemingly
Yeah.
wise, but then when you saw it, you're like, oh, okay, this is on a different level.
Well,
and then it spawned
yeah.
a lot of sequels.
You said-
definitely the first one, right? The first one was like it had its gratuitous nudity scene, had the basement showers, but I don't remember them continuing. I remember the beginning of the second one on the beach. They have that quick shot.
Boobaless,
And
yeah.
I think that was it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think there were any boobs.
Mm.
Again,
No.
Yeah, just Police Academy 1 and 2 are the only ones that showed some taters. Unless
Taters.
you count Police Academy 4 when she goes in the pool and she jumps up and she goes, now who's going to save me?
oh, the white T-shirt. Yeah.
Oh, I'll count that
That is some good nipplage right there.
Oh.
because Callahan she was a big part of you.
Stacked. Oh, God, yeah.
And then what about when in Police Academy 1 when Callahan throws Leslie Barber on the floor and then straddles his neck and she's like,
Oh, yeah.
who's going to be next? And they all jump up all over themselves.
Me. I think, didn't Steve Guttenberg turn to some other guy and go, we'll both be next?
Yeah, the other womanizer in the group. The other stereotype, the Italian womanizer.
Well, you guys were talking about stereotypes. How about the what the hell was his name? Nagata,
Oh,
the
Yeah.
Asian guy. Holy shit!
Yeah, the Police Academy films like to make fun of their Asians.
Like his voice is like so stereotyped.
So-
Well, the 80s were particularly hard on that
Oh, yeah.
on that
those
demographic.
people.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
well, like
Actually,
mean-
I thought his portrayal was one of the most realistic in the film.
Oh my God!
Jesus
You're right, Mike.
Christ.
You're right.
What was that 80s movie? They Call Me Bruce. You remember that? It was on HBO.
Oh, that
all
movie's
the time. So $120 million in 1985 equates to $288.5 million today.
Oh my God!
Nice.
Like a $14
Blockbuster.
million budget.
Blockbuster.
Well, I still remember getting prepared for Police Academy 3. And I remember being so psyched for Police Academy 3. We rented Police Academy 2. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the greatest movie. This is going to be awesome. And I remember seeing it in the theater, thinking it was funny. And I went with my dad. And I remember my dad really liked Police Academy 2. And I remember at one point looking at my dad, he was completely stone-faced watching Police Academy 3. And then afterwards, I go, Dad, what'd you think? And he's like, I think I liked the second one a little bit more. like he did not want to say it sucked. So watching I watched Police Academy 3 and 4 also recently. Yeah, there's a big drop off, my friends. That thing goes down fast. You got maybe a few jokes from Zed or Sweet Chuck, but yeah, it's a little tough to watch.
See, I agree with 3. I do have a soft spot with 4 though. I don't know why.
You got a baby soft spot for 4?
I have a baby soft spot for 4.
Steve, you did not wait for Keith's sound effect.
That's okay.
What's that?
That's okay.
Because I don't know when those motherfucking things are coming out.
And that's the beauty of them. That's the beauty of them.
It's like Keith's penis. You never know when it's coming out, but when it does, you surprise you.
There you go. There's your joke. There's the feedback for your
There you
joke.
go.
Oh Christ! All right, so we need to start talking about 2 because I've been chomping at the bit.
But start it now. Talk it.
I love Police Academy 2.
Steve's going to talk.
I love it. I love it. I laughed my ass off.
Wait, can we talk about how Mike kind of sounded like Bill Cosby on it?
That did sound like
Steve's about to talk about it. Pudding pop.
just drink the drink.
What was that?
Is that why I feel violated right now?
Who's Jamie doing?
He doesn't know. You have no idea.
Drink the drink.
Just drink the drink.
Is that?
Bill Cosby after the Cosby Show wraps up.
I was gonna say,
Oh my
is
God!
that Bill Cosby after the shower? My God.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, Steve, you were saying?
I lost my fucking train of thought.
Why?
Police Academy 2.
I love it.
All right.
He's a man of many
I'll tell you
words.
one thing that stuck out at me about 2 is how close the plot of Police Academy 2 is to Meatballs 2.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, good call on that.
You have the 2 warring camps, you have the boxing match, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait. I think you're thinking Police Academy 3. Yeah.
I'm thinking of 3. You're right. Duh.
But you're right. Academy 3 is like Meatballs 2. We are such fucking nerds right now.
Yes. It's
We
okay.
are.
It's part
Actually,
of our
you're
charm.
thinking of the 1980. No.
We are so fucking 80s.
Yes.
I'm thinking of something of Meatballs too. I don't think we can talk about it on the air.
Right. Moving right along. Moving right along. Yes,
And I'm not
folks.
talking about Paul Rubens' cameo.
Yes, folks, that is a what we'll call a inside joke, and so we'll transition from that. All right.
Oh.
So,
That was a good one.
yeah, you like that?
Police Academy 2. Let's talk about Police Academy 2. This is hands down, I think, the funniest of all the Police Academy films. They introduce the character of Zed, who's the villain in this. He is so played by Bobcat Goldthwait, who's absolutely hilarious in Police Academy 2. They also introduce, for a small part, is the character Sweet Chuck, played by Tim. What's his last name?
Oh yeah, real memorable.
Yeah, Tim. Tim Polish. I forgot his name. Anyway, he's actually hilarious. He was on Saturday Night Live for a while.
Tim
He's
Kaczynski.
actually one of Belushi's best friends.
Tim Kaczynski.
Tim Kaczynski.
Kaczynski, something like that. Yeah.
Kaczynski.
Yeah, Polish.
Yeah, Polish.
So now I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, it's hilarious. It's got some great jokes in it, the great gags, and they actually took out some of the characters from the first film that really weren't all that memorable, and really never brought them back. The only one they brought back was Leslie Easterbrook, and that's only because she was having a baby at the time and couldn't do Police Academy 2. But she's in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, Sue.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the reason.
Yeah.
So, I know Jamie and Steve. Jamie's never been on Facebook, and Steve swore off it because of the Jesus and Trump factor.
Mainly Jesus.
But I shared the I shared the Police Academy trailer, and if you watch that, there is a clear dub. It's on YouTube. There's a clear dubbage of the not the commandant, but the captain's voice, and also Leslie Easterbrook's voice in one of the clips that they put in the trailer. It is a clear dub. It is not their voices, which it's restored. It's restored in the movie release, so I don't understand why they dubbed it for the trailer, but I'm sure they had their reasons.
Dub.
Maybe the movie wasn't ready yet when they put the trailer out.
Yeah, you and your logic.
Maybe you weren't ready yet, Mike.
I'm never ready.
You and your logic.
Logic.
Well,
Hey, Steve, why do you have a soft spot for Police Academy 4?
Yeah.
I think it's mainly I saw it in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one. It's the only one I actually saw in the theater. And back then I had, even though I could not do it to save my life, I kind of had a love for skateboarding.
Right.
And the part in the beginning with David Spade, whose skateboarding was done by a very young Tony Hawk in that movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was the stunt double.
And he got fired too, I think.
Yeah, I think he did.
Imagine not being able to hold up to the integrity of the Police Academy.
I know.
And you get fired.
Especially part 4.
It was just something about 4. I don't really have an answer. Like I said, I think it's just the ultimate of nostalgia because I saw it in the theater. Being, 4 came out like 88, 89, right? Somewhere around there?
87.
Oh, it was 87?
Oh,
there you go. Right
Did
there.
you
Nice.
So it was I was 11. So I have that, it was the greatest thing in the world when I saw it.
Did you rewatch it?
4?
Yeah.
No, I rewatched 1 and 2. 4, I'm just going off of memory.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Jamie said it didn't hold up, and I definitely believe that. I haven't watched it again either, but something tells me
why I
it
haven't
probably
watched
doesn't
it.
hold up.
I'm going back and watching all of them. They're all streaming on Netflix right now, and I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going with 5, 6, and 7 next.
All right.
So
Oh,
bear with
Jesus
me.
Christ.
I'm telling you, like 3 and 4, they did maybe fall off a little, but they still follow that same format. They still have the same corny lines. They still have the same. It may have become more commercial by that point for sure, but it's not as bad as that. It's not as different anyway.
It just jokes got more childish. It was aimed.
Maybe it's not as dirty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I feel like, and you guys have known me long enough to know that I have a bad habit of doing this a lot, but I see movies out of order. And I just have this bad feeling that, 4 was the first one I saw.
That's not
Probably.
normal. Yeah. 3 was the first one I saw. Or no, 2. 2. I'm sorry, 2.
And then went backwards. And then once Lloyd Braun turned up on Miami Beach, then I was out.
That's right, Lloyd Braun.
That's right. It was Lloyd Braun in that.
Oh, man.
That's right. I still remember being excited about 6 because Fackler was coming back. Fackler's coming back.
Did you just hear yourself? You were excited about fucking Fackler. Honestly.
Who can pick the most nuts bit in the entire Police Academy series?
Ooh, most
like
nuts?
ongoing bit, like one of the characters does this. So what's your favorite thing?
Oh, it's gotta be Blue Oyster Bar.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's got to be that.
It's notorious.
I don't know. I think it might be the father and son beating.
I love how Mike stops for the sound effects. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the appreciation and the time it took me to put together this soundboard. I can't stop it, so we're gonna have to listen to it. There you go.
You're right though, Mike. The father-son beating each other up, it is pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, it just keeps going back, and the mother coming in just like, it reminded me of my family sometimes.
Yeah, what did she do?
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm fucking murdered.
Police
right now.
Academy 2, what I love about that's PG-13, but yet they still had some nice titties in that, asses for you other people. They had
values.
Swearing. They had F-bombs. They had a couple F-bombs in that actually.
It was at the
integrity.
It was right at the advent of PG-13. They didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
Well, because if you remember, Smokey and the Bandit 3.
No, I don't remember that movie at all.
Oh man.
Okay,
the reason
this
podcast.
You are fucking reaching right now. If you remember
the reason why Smokey and the Bandit 3 sticks out, going off of what Jamie was just talking about.
Yeah.
It was 1983. I believe it was rated PG.
It was.
And there was a scene in a nudist colony where there was just nudity all over the place, and it was a PG movie. And so when you think about it now, you're like, that would be R, like a hard R rating. And it was a PG movie back in '83. It didn't
show like Tallywhackers or 70s Bush or anything like that.
No, but it showed a lot of boobs and butt. A lot of boobs.
Oh, that's classic.
Morals.
Yeah.
So we also said earlier. We also said earlier in the episode that this was one of the rare times where the sequel was better than the first one.
Highly agree.
How many other movies? How many other movies can you guys think of where that was true? Like the one that jumps to mind is Empire Strikes Back.
Star Trek 2. Empire Strikes Back. Godfather 2.
Godfather 2.
You liked Godfather 2 better than the
Lethal
first
Weapon
one?
2.
Oh no! I'm drawing.
Yeah, I might go with who said Lethal Weapon 2? Is that you, Steve?
Yeah.
I might join Steve on that.
I love the first one, but the second one is
Part one is amazing.
the second one's great.
Has a little bit more action scenes I like.
I get 2 and 3
and
confused.
they kept it rated R, which was awesome.
Was 2 the South Africa one?
Yeah.
Diplomatic immunity. I mean, that alone makes that fucking better. I mean, I love Gary Busey, but
yeah. It's one of the greatest, most
fucking
80s. Mike broke out the Spectrum.
Sequel better than the first.
And I got to tell you, I would also debate The Godfather because
I agree with Mike.
I love the flashback section, and I love some of the Pacino stuff, but some of that leaves me lacking. I'm going to be honest with you. The first one is a better overall movie.
I enjoy watching 1 more than 2.
Yeah,
I feel like 2 gets caught up in itself with all the flashbacks, and it just bogs down.
Bog down.
Yeah, I do.
What I love about 2 of that movie is the story that he's telling. The parallel between the 2 stories is pretty cool. But
how about the Road Warrior?
Oh, easily. Yeah, definitely. Good call on that.
Still haven't seen any.
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 is really good.
Leonard Part 6.
I never saw Leonard Part 4 though. I don't know about that.
It was a straight to VHS release.
I remember those cameras. Remember the cameras?
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's some fairly decent ones.
Smokey and the Bandit 3, right, Steve?
No,
that's right.
I got one. It's Clerks 2 is better than Clerks 1.
Oh, I fucking love Clerks 2.
I love Clerks 2, but I think Clerks 1 is way better.
Clerks 1 is like in the pantheon.
It for surely is, but if you look at them as actual movies, 2 is so much better.
Yeah. All right, only on now, mind you, this is only on pure swearing.
I'm already laughing.
It's the only thing that this is better than the first one, but Die Hard 2.
No, fuck no. No.
No. Sorry.
No.
Just for the swearing.
No.
Not as a movie.
It's not.
I'm
No.
getting ready for full spectrum right now.
Wait.
No, listen. Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
God, please,
I like Die Hard 1 better.
No!
All right, you may have to take.
But I actually find, as much as I love Die Hard 1 better than Die Hard 2, I think it's a far superior movie. I get a little more enjoyment out of number 2 just because of the
I
swearing.
think we need to wrap
Because
this
the
up.
swearing is insane in that second movie.
We need to.
I thought you were
Especially
saying,
with.
I thought you were going to say Beverly Hills Cop 2 when you said that.
Oh,
About
no.
swearing.
Fuck that.
I was like, oh, he's going to go Beverly Hills Cop 2, isn't he?
No, man.
I was looking forward to
They're
like ramping up and you guys having a full out debate about the
No.
Die Hard versus Die Hard
But
2.
if you go back and rewatch the second Die Hard, the swearing makes that movie so entertaining because they say fuck instead of like I and or the. Like it's that word is used so much in that movie, and
There's a lot.
Oh, it fucking kills me every time. I laugh my ass off, especially Sipowicz, and I'm just gonna call him Sipowicz because that's who he is.
And it's Franz.
God,
Oh, I fucking
anyway.
love it, especially when they put that movie on TV and they edited it.
Oh,
It almost sounded like it was a foreign edit because there was no words spoken by any of the main characters.
Do you know what Dennis Franz's favorite food is? Franz fries.
Oh, gee, I didn't see that coming.
Oh.
Wait, Jamie, say it again. Say it again. Say the punchline again.
What is Dennis Franz's favorite food? Franz fries.
Oh man,
You give Jamie his moment in the spotlight there. Whew.
it's a hard crowd.
Yeah, it is. Whew.
It's a
But
hard crowd.
getting back to the Police Academy. Do we have a favorite like villain, favorite bad guy, like most fun to watch?
I
I
like.
like
Mauser.
Mauser more than Harris.
I'm the opposite.
Well, there's Mauser, there's Harris, there's Proctor. I mean, those are the three main ones, probably, right?
Proctor's like a sidekick, though. He's just an idiot.
Yeah, but he's good.
You want to know?
He's hilarious.
The first thing I think of when I think of Proctor is the scene where he eats the shrimp. And which movie was that in?
That's in
3.
4.
That was that 4? Was that 4?
Was it 3?
Yeah, it's 3.
That was it 3.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 3. Yeah, because they're at the banquet.
He's
Yeah.
got like the ring of
3 is
cocktail
the one.
sauce.
I remember watching 3 once with Pete, and we were absolutely Pete. Do you remember this? We were absolutely murdered over. Mauser says something to Proctor. He goes, "I'm not teaching my cadets how to use a wok," and Proctor goes, we were so ruined over that.
I fucking love these movies.
So when I watch 2 though, and I see Bob Goldthwait, all I'm thinking about now is that I know Jerry Seinfeld hates him. Did you guys ever hear?
I didn't know that. Really?
Oh my god! So here
I didn't know that.
I have this soundbite queued up. It's from Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. He's talking with what's her name, Bridget Everett, who's a burlesque performer in New York, I believe, or LA maybe. And this is they bring him up very closely. And
So who was
after the
first
ad, of course.
person
Oh, here
you
it goes.
saw when you were a kid?
John Belushi on Saturday Night Live and Animal House. Like, I just felt like
They're gonna bleep
so
out a name, and it's
electrified
Bobcat
by him.
Goldthwait.
Yeah.
really, really sad. Like when he died, and
Sometimes it's sad and sometimes it's beautiful.
yeah,
They did get it out there for us.
yeah,
That crazy thing that they had.
yeah.
There was no other way for that to go.
You know, I'm good friends with. That's his. best
I don't
friend.
like him
I
at all.
don't know.
At all. In fact, I have a particular feeling about him. I had kind of forgotten about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a
Uh-oh.
little article about him in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that, there was a veiled reference to his dislike of what I did.
Really?
Anyway, it didn't have my name, of course. He used to rail against comedians because they weren't as wild and dangerous as he was, because he sucked. Okay?
Wow.
He basically he goes on in the episode to go on and talk about how Bobcat Goldthwait came up with the persona, the stutter, the whatever you want to call it, because he had no act.
Yeah, no act.
He wasn't.
If he
funny.
didn't have a joke,
Oh.
he would just scream and make people laugh.
Yeah, but I don't think that's true. Do you ever see his comedy? His stand-up comedy?
Yeah,
is
Share the
hysterical
Warmth
now.
is great.
The only thing I ever saw him do stand-up, I think, was when he was at the VMAs, and he came out with Prince's a costume like Prince on, and it was way too small for him.
Oh my
and
God.
it was like, all you could see his freaking gut hanging out, and he's like, and he just said, "Somebody screwed up my wardrobe with Prince." That's the only thing I remember.
Do you remember him setting Arsenio Hall's couch on fire?
No.
Oh,
He actually got arrested. He went on Arsenio Hall show, and it was right after Arsenio got canceled, and he had like 2 or 3 shows left. And Bobcat Goldthwait trashed his set and set the couch on fire. And
Now I like him
trashed
even more.
And Arsenio, at first made it look like
What
he
do you
was
got
mad,
against
but then he
Arsenio?
said he whispered in his ear, "Thank you," because he trashed the couch.
Oh dear God.
No, but I heard an interview with Bobcat. He was talking about it was right after Robin Williams had died, and he was talking about how they were like best friends.
Mhm.
And when they did that Snickers commercial a couple years ago, do you remember that where you eat a Snickers because you're not acting like yourself? It had Robin Williams and that Bobcat, and Robin Williams got him that job, and he said. After he got the job, Robin Williams called him and said, "Listen, they're going to probably want you to do the voice." He goes, "For the money they'll pay me, I will fuck a Snickers on screen." Because I guess they paid him just like a fortune. Oh, there he goes. Oh, he's spray painting, and yeah, he just destroys the set.
Oh,
Absolutely destroys it.
Wow.
He's a good director too. He's done some good movies where he's directed. He directed Robin Williams in a movie called World's Greatest Dad.
Oh, I love
Absolutely
that movie, dude.
hilarious movie.
I also loved God Bless America, where they go on a killing spree.
Yeah, he
You
did
ever
that.
see
Shakes the Clown, and
Mhm.
he did. What was that one he did with? He did one about a girl who has a dog eat her pussy or something like that.
What?
I'm dead
What?
serious. It's called like
Oh,
Sleeping Dogs Lie.
Where
or
do you-
something
Sleeping
like
Dogs
that.
Lie. Yeah,
Where
yeah.
do you fucking
Yeah.
find these movies?
Hot to try.
Like,
Netflix.
Hot to try. Oh my
to
God.
try.
I forgot about
But
that
he was
movie.
a director
voice of
on
John
the Jimmy Kimmel Show for years. He directed like a whole shitload of Jimmy Kimmel shows.
I saw his hour-long stand-up. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
Share
funny.
the Warmth. It was great.
Yeah.
I like
Um,
I like hearing about celebrity rivalries, like when they really don't like each other. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that shit show.
yeah, Jamie, Sleeping Dogs Lie. You're right
Yeah.
about that.
That's,
Oh my God.
it's pretty fucking
And
funny.
apparently do other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That
Sleeping Dogs Lick.
that movie World's Best Dad or whatever, right? Robin Williams' son like kills himself with trying to do
Jerking off.
erotic asphyxiation or whatever. And I watched this thing on Prime Video. It was Autopsy: The Last Days of Robin Williams, and the way that they found him was with a belt, but with a towel wrapped around it, so that it wouldn't hurt too bad or whatever. And they say that movie may have given him ideas. I guess he was battling like a form of
Dementia.
Yeah, like really screwed him up in the head.
What scene was this from Police Academy?
It wasn't actually. It was the scene where in Police Academy 2 when Mauser gets dropped through the roof of the bear cage.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's it.
yes.
He put a towel on to it.
He was hanging.
The Archies. The Archies.
My mother's name was Jughead. I've been thinking about changing it. What? It's
Good
a
old
good
American
American
name.
Hey, who's fooling around? What the fuck?
Family affair.
Oh God! All right, I think we've exhausted this topic. What do you say, boy?
Yeah, everyone, go check out Police Academy 1 and 2. It's streaming on Netflix.
And hit the comments on the Facebook post here, and also on our podcast episodes available on Spreaker, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever quality podcasts are available.
Wash your hands!
I'm Keith Grieve for Steve Taylor, Mike Burdick, Pete Melia, and Jamie Klein. This has been episode 19 of F That Noise. Have a good night.
That's pretty much it. What the fuck?